my dance moves, Tawana? Always something smart. Can we see your dance moves? Welcome, Tawana. You like it? Is that good enough for you? Thanks for joining us, Tawana. We got a good one this evening. Make sure Sonny's listening. Both of you guys, tell your friends. Join the Know Your Right show. We're gonna go in tonight, Tawana. We're going in. Thanks for joining the Terris Strengths show. Yeah. Sonny Strength Love said he's listening. Okay. That's good. Here they go, Sonny. Keep Tawana in check. Keep her out of trouble. Sonny Strength Love said he's listening. Oh, that's funny. We had some people join us tonight. We got the presidential debates going on tonight. Both of them up their line. Glad you guys come out to join the Terris Strengths show instead, and know your rights. So what we're going to talk about tonight is the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. That's right, family. We're going in tonight. I don't think I'm going to get done everything tonight. This is probably going to be at least 2 shows. So we're going to try to see what we can sort out here to help people with some of their dysfunctional relationships that they're in and going through. And really, this show is about all of your relationships. Not just your romantic ones, but the purpose is for you to analyze and look at all of your relationships and become more effective in all of them. Know your rights. So the five deadly behavioral and emotional traits that we're going to talk about. Number 1 is enmeshment. Number 2 is anger or passive aggressive behavior. Number 3 is narcissism. Number 4 is low self-esteem or lack of or insecurity. And number 5 is adult-child interactions. So we're going to try to talk a little bit about all 5 to make you guys aware of some of these behaviors that you may be experiencing in your relationships, or that you experienced growing up with your parents, or whatever. We're going to talk about that tonight. So it should be a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something that you can take with you. Know your rights. The question for this evening is, if there is anyone out there dealing with a situation of codependency in a relationship, please call in and share your story. Call in, family, 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. Call in tonight. Again, the topic is spirituality, a new perspective, the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. It's a silent killer, family. It's a silent killer. So as I was saying, so we have the presidential base on tonight. Donald Trump and Biden are going to go at it. You know, 4 years ago, Donald Trump went at it with Hillary. Well, we see how that turned out. Oh my goodness, this process. Unbelievable. Know your rights. All right, family. Alright, family, so we're going to be logging in a couple minutes, logging into the show, get this show started. Everybody watching the debates tonight. Well, thanks for showing up, Tawana. You might be the only one.
Blog Talk Radio. Your show is scheduled to start in 7 minutes, 8 seconds. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Alright, family, so we'll be getting started in about 7 minutes. Get started with the show. I see everybody is watching the presidential debates. I did not realize the debates were today. So we're going to try to get started. Thanks for joining us, those who are listening. Still have a lot going on. Major League Football team, a couple of teams got infected with the virus. Virus is still, there are now 1 million people killed worldwide based on COVID, due to COVID. We still got to be careful, family. Got to be careful out there. This thing is still raging. Question for this evening. If there's anyone out there dealing with a situation of codependency in a relationship, please call in and share your story. Call in and share your story. 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. Call in to the Terris Strengths Show. Karan, how you doing this evening? Glad you could join us. Glad you could join us tonight. What it do, Mr. Strength? It do good. I'm up against the debates tonight, though, Karan. I don't know. It's me versus Biden and Trump. So I'll do my best. But I'm glad you can join us. Hope everything is going great with you. And you're here now, so we can get started. Tawada, hi, Karan. You too. Boy, me too. Yeah, all right, I got you. I'm glad you two are here. We're talking about, Karan, the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. So we're going to go in a little bit tonight. Oh, you're recording the debates. Good, good. There you go. I'm watching you live. Thank you, Karan. You and technology. You and technology. And call in tonight, Karan. The question is there anyone out there dealing with a situation of codependency? Is there anyone out there dealing with a situation of codependency in a relationship? Please call in and share your story. Or ask a question. You say, yep, since the show's about my issues, codependency. We all have those issues, Karan. You ain't the only one. You're not the only one that has issues with codependency. Pretty much most of the world has it. We're just trying to learn how we can control it and reduce its effect a little bit. So you're not alone. It's an epidemic. He said his feed must be slow.
Blog Talk Radio.
There you go, brother O. Yeah. Nice. Okay, I got you. That's the cup, brother.
And fall back to loving you. Looking you. Oh, everybody knows it's modern song. Still I gotta play what's going on. Let the music sound. We don't sing along. When the music on.
Thank you, brother. I will.
One day we'll long I can't even turn on my radio. I'm not a jungle. Right now I'm listening to back push down on you. Where's the music on? Tell me, we don't sing no more. All the soul is gone. Tell me,
Good track, brother.
I want to talk about
Leela James. She says, I hear you. I hope so. Wow. How about that timing? Okay, Karan. I hope that works out. That's great. Very good. My voice still delayed? Thank you, brother. Thank you. This is the product of Beverly Nation. This is Know Your Rights, and I'm your host, Terris Strengths, on air now, calling from Lagos, Nigeria. Call-in family 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. This conversation is brought to you by Looking Glass Entertainment. And before I begin, I would like to thank Brother Oladeli and the One Dynasty family for giving me the opportunity to share my story and my perspective. The topic this evening, I got major competition with the presidential debate right now, but listen, we here trying to get our lives together. So it is what it is. The topic is spirituality, a new perspective, the 5 deadly behavioral emotional traits of codependency. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. We tend to base the value that we assign to a relationship on the length of time that relationship lasts. That is rather unconscious, seeing as sometimes the most valuable relationship can be with a person we sat next to only once. Fear can open the door for people to control you in whatever direction suits their own best interests, because fear puts you in a state to want to be told what to do. And those were both written by Till Swan. All right, so the question for this evening is, if there is anyone out there dealing with a situation of codependency in a relationship, in any type of relationship, please call in and share your story, or you can ask a question about an issue that you're having with it. This is a topic that we're going to dive in on because it's a silent killer of relationships. It causes people to live a life of unhappiness. And the goal on the Know Your Right show is to help us to evolve and to move towards wholeness. So as I talked about on the strength dating system, you know, you need to have your psychological game in order in addition to historical and spiritual. So this is under the psychological, but rest assured, these terms should not just be known by your therapists or your social workers. We need to know these terms and understand what they mean for us so that we can better manage them in our lives and have better relationships. Because better relationships mean we are fulfilling our destiny, we are fulfilling our purpose, and we increase our constitution to go out here and do great things and to have, eventually, to have great communities. So that's the purpose of this. So in order to do that, we have to hold ourselves accountable and work on our issues a person at a time. Okay? Because collectively, when we don't do these things, it impacts us, and we end up not getting our needs met. You know, we end up begging for justice and all this other type of stuff that's going on. So when we become more purposeful in healing ourselves of what has gone on as a group, then we move in a more targeted way, and we move in a way to get our needs met as a group. Okay, so this goes for us from a mass perspective. It goes for us individually. So that's what this is about. This is about us being more aware, so that we can manifest, so that we can create the things that we want in our life and have the life that we want and have the confidence to go get it. All right. Before I get started, I just want to talk about what's going on out here a little bit. So I see a couple of NFL teams have now contracted the coronavirus. Listen, we just had a grisly anniversary of, we've passed the 1 million mark in terms of coronavirus deaths in the world. This thing is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. And we still need to be vigilant, family, with protecting ourselves, washing our hands, wearing our masks. This thing is still out there killing people. You know, with this country leading the way. So we have to remain vigilant. I have to talk about that on every show because this thing is still, we haven't seen anything like this in our lifetime. You know, so, you know, we can't let our guard down and think that, you know, it's not affecting me or anybody around me, that everything is okay. It's not okay. This thing is still out here killing people. Okay? So I just wanted to talk about that briefly. I know we had the whole Brianna situation with the courts and them finding these cops not guilty. I don't want to go down that path tonight. I would just say that, you know, we have to hold ourselves accountable and stop begging for justice. And I'll just leave that alone. Anyway, the topic tonight is 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So call in, family. 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. The question that we're asking tonight, first of all, you can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The question that we're talking about tonight is, if there is anyone out there dealing with a situation of codependency in a relationship, please call in and share your story or ask a question. All right, so let's get started. Let's go on this topic. All right, so it has come to my attention that many of us are having a difficult time in our relationships due to the lack of understanding about our parents and the impact they have had on the success or failure of our relationships. In the strength dating system, I place an emphasis on working through 3 phases of personal development. Number 1, the psychological phase. Number 2, the historical. Number 3, the spiritual. All right? We are now going to explore one of the more deadly emotional traits that hinder our success in relationships: codependency. Okay? So let's talk about what codependency is, because a lot of us out there don't even know what codependency is. We're just living a life of dysfunction, going through our lives, living miserable lives, having children, showing them how to have miserable lives. I mean, it's all unconscious. So here on the Know Your Right show, we try to bring the unconscious to the conscious. So codependency, it is an emotional and behavioral condition that affects an individual's ability to have a healthy and mutually satisfying relationship. It is also known as relationship addiction, because people with codependency often form or maintain relationships that are one-sided, emotionally destructive, and or abusive. Now, let's talk about the spiritual definition of codependency. Codependency is about having a dysfunctional relationship with the self, with our own bodies, minds, emotions, and spirits, with our own gender, and even our own sexuality, primarily with being human. Because we have dysfunctional relationships internally, we have dysfunctional relationships externally. Most of us were raised in a shame-based, emotionally dishonest, spiritually hostile environment by parents who were wounded in their childhoods by patriarchal, shame-based civilizations. We formed our core relationship with self in early childhood and built our relationship with self, life, and other humans based on that foundation. Programmed to feel shame about being imperfect humans and trained to be emotionally dishonest. We were set up to live life reacting to the emotional trauma and dysfunctional intellectual programming of childhood. Because we feel shame about being human, we have a relationship with life that does not work to bring us joy or inner peace. Codependency is about having a dysfunctional relationship with the self, with our own bodies, minds, emotions, and spirits, with our own gender and sexuality, okay? I said it twice. We do not have the power to change others. We do have the power to change our relationship with self by healing our codependency and wounded souls. We can access the capacity to accept, embrace, forgive, and have compassion for and set boundaries with all parts of the self. Learning to love ourselves will allow us to gain the capacity to love others in a healthy way. Changing our relationship with life can transform life into an exciting adventure. This dance of codependency is a dance of dysfunctional relationships, of relationships that do not work to meet our needs. That does not mean just romantic relationships in general. The fact that dysfunction exists in our romantic family and human relationships is a symptom of the dysfunction that exists in our relationships with life and with being human. It is a symptom of the dysfunction which exists in our relationships with ourselves as human beings. Codependence is an emotional and behavioral defense system which was adopted by our egos in order to meet our need to survive as a child. Okay, I want you to think about that, family. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Codependence is an emotional and behavioral defense system which was adopted by our egos in order to meet our need to survive as a child. Because we had no tools for reprogramming our egos and healing our emotional wounds, i.e. culturally approved grieving, training, and initiation rites, healthy role models, etc. The effect is that as an adult, we keep reacting to the programming of our childhood and do not get our needs met. Our emotional, mental, spiritual, or physical needs, they're not getting met. Codependence allows us to survive physically, but causes us to feel empty and dead inside. Codependence is a defense system that causes us to wound ourselves. I believe I have a caller in the queue. Caller 1, who am I speaking with? Hello?
All right, caller 1, you're on the line right now.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, it's Jerry.
Jerry, how you doing?
So, I'm listening to everything you're saying, and everything you're saying makes sense, of course, 100%. There's that other side, though. The other side is, okay, so two people in a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is codependent, and one doesn't know how to react to that. Okay, so that's damaging right there. The other side of the coin is the person is codependent and their mate encourages it because they're also super insecure. So it makes it even more damaging to the person who is codependent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Then you have someone, all right, like me. My mother was a little disabled. She was abused by a stepmother when she was young. Her mother died, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so she had a lot of insecurity issues. She became obese. She was like a beauty queen when my dad married her, and in 2 years she was 300 pounds, 4'11", didn't care about anything. Wow. But my dad stayed with her till she took her last breath. He was incredible, and I used to fight with him to not let her, she used to yell at him all the time, and he just said, it's your mother, it's no big deal. Right. So I watched that growing up, and I said, I will never be that woman, which I'm not, but I understand my mom's pain now as I'm older, of course.
Right.
But I look at relationships, and I think we're all kind of unhealthy in a way if you think about it, because I'm the kind of person where I won't allow any nonsense. And that's not healthy either, because I should be able to allow a little bit of nonsense, but I won't.
Right.
So, where do you think we could find that balance with all of it? Do you have any kind of an answer to that?
Yes. Okay, so, so one of the things you want to ask yourself is, what is your role in this whole triangle? Is the person your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend? Where are you in that situation? If the person is so codependent that it becomes toxic, and you're arguing and fighting all the time, you haven't, one of the signs that that something is not right is how you feel in this relationship. Is the relationship smothering? We're going to break down 5 of the aspects. We're going to talk about enmeshment. I'm going to go into enmeshment, passive-aggressive, narcissism, low self-esteem, and adult-child interaction. So we're going to go into these traits of codependency, okay? And you're going to see yourself in these situations. So the goal is to move towards being healthy and wholesome, to be a whole person. If you're fighting and bickering all the time, or you're feeling like the person is choking you, then obviously some things need to be looked at. So individually, we need to understand what codependency is. And I'm sure, with you dealing with your past addictions, you've had to go down that path. So you're probably more aware than most, Jerry, right? I would assume.
Yes. And I also now help families, and I'm working with a family where the father is so allowing so much codependency with his addict children that it's destroying all their lives. Okay.
Well, listen to the show, because we're going to go into that more in a different aspect. We're going to talk about enmeshments and the origin of it, and this and that. But the key is, whoever is the person in that chain, they don't have to play the role, but they have to learn about it so they can realize the behaviors that they're exhibiting that's unconscious. Because a lot of times, if we're codependent, we're inclined to attract a codependent person into our lives so that we can continue that dance. If we were raised by parents who were very unhealthy and dysfunctional in that way, then we're going to find ourselves mirroring that in our own relationships. So I try to tell people to look at all of your relationships, to make sure that you aren't entangled in all of your relationships. When it's healthy, it allows the room for each other to breathe within the relationship and to be their individual selves. It's not all this passive aggressive stuff going on. It's not all this entanglement stuff going on. It's okay for people to go and breathe, and you support them and they support you. At the root of codependency is a lot of insecurity and control, and that's where the problem starts. So people aren't in an environment to get their emotional needs met. There's a lot of dysfunction going on. There's a code, and you can't walk across it, and all this stuff that goes on. So we're going to talk about the different aspects of it. The lack of boundaries and everything else that goes on. But it depends on, to answer your question, Jerry, it depends on where you are in that chain and how you're interacting and what type of relationship you want to have with that person. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know the players,
yeah,
but it depends on what's going on and how you're feeling about that interaction, and you learning about it or showing them, explain to them the game of it or how it works, so that they can begin to modify the relationship for themselves. Because just because my mother or father is very codependent doesn't mean that I have to live at that level of codependency just because they raised me that way. Once I learn, I have the ability to unplug myself from that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but talk when I get off the phone with you. Talk a little bit about someone like me who doesn't take any crap, and that's not good either.
Well, I don't know if that's not good. I don't think you should take crap. I think that's
no, but I mean the least amount I won't take.
well,
nothing.
Well, hold on, Jerry. I don't think that's true. Okay, first of all, I don't believe that to be true. I've known you for a year now. Okay, you've taken a lot of crap. Okay, you may not take. There are certain people in your life that you may not take any crap from because you know what they're bringing. But you don't strike me as a person that is like that with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So what you're talking about.
Right. So you just made that clear. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is being overly defensive. I don't see you don't seem to me to be an overly defensive person. But maybe with people in your family, because you know what they're bringing, you become far more defensive because you know the impact of it. So to me, that's healthy, because you've established boundaries in your family, and that's a sign of you moving towards being healthy. You draw the line. That's healthy. Okay, that's
all
setting
right.
boundaries.
Thank you, baby.
Okay. So go in peace, Jerry, and make more boundaries.
And I want to say congratulations to you for being a year with us now, right?
Yes, it's been a year. It's been a year.
Yeah, happy anniversary, baby.
Yes, thank you guys for all your support. I appreciate it. That's great.
I'll be listening. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you for calling in. All right, so family, so you guys just heard a good conversation with Jerry Petito about codependence. So, she was worried that she was being too defensive with everybody, and I don't believe that's the case from what I know of Jerry. All right, so we're going to finish talking about this. So, traditionally in this society, women were taught to be codependent on that is take their self-definition and their self-worth from their relationships with men. While men have been taught to be codependent on their success or career or work. That has changed somewhat in the past 20 or 30 years, but it is still part of the reason that women have more of a tendency to sell their souls for relationships more than men do. All right? Codependence is all about giving outside or external influences power over our self-esteem. Okay? I want to say that again. Codependence is all about giving outside or external influences power over our self-esteem. Everything outside of ourselves, rather, that is people, places, and things, or our own external appearance, has to do with ego strength and not self-worth. We all have equal divine worth because we are transcendent spiritual beings who are part who are part of the oneness that is the Great Spirit or God force, not because of anything outside of us. Now, codependence and interdependence are two very different dynamics. Okay, I want to say that again. Codependence and interdependence are two very different dynamics. Codependence is about giving away power over our self-esteem. Interdependence is about making allies and forming partnerships. It is about forming connections with other beings. The way to healthy interdependence is to be able to see things clearly. If we are not working on healing our childhood wounds and changing our childhood programming, then we cannot begin to see ourselves clearly, let alone anything else in life. Okay? I want to say that one more time before this next track, Brother O. If we, family, are not working on healing our childhood wounds and changing our childhood programming, then we cannot begin to see ourselves clearly, let alone anything else in life. All right, Brother O, you go ahead and play the next track.
Hello, Mr. Holland. And Rosie may come out and play. She's a good girl now. Won't be no trouble, no how. By the way, Mr. Holland, I like the way you made no trouble of my skin. It's not a problem, nor has it ever been. You invited me into your home, treated me like I was grown. I was only 18. Rosie was a beauty queen. Hello, Mr. Holland, and Rosie may come out and play. I'm a good boy now, won't be no trouble, no how. By the way, Mr. Holland, I like the way you treat me like a regular Joe. I wanted a soda, and you said Rosie could go. Anyway, I like your style, seems like I'll be around for a while. We can talk about a country mile and listen to a blues record. Check it out. Oh, hello, Mr. Holland, and Rosie may come out and play. It's a good world now. Won't be no trouble, no how. And by the way, Mr. Holland, I like the way you treat me like a regular bill. My name is not a problem, and oh, it never will. Anyway, I like your way. People ought to be able to play and keep your soul as black as a knife when you're walking straight into the light. Oh, now. Anyhow, I like your way. People ought to be able to play. If your soul is black as a knife, as you're walking through the final light. Mama used to visit me. When you go out in the world, you see some people will fear your face and name, but Mr. Holland don't play that game. Oh, Mr. Holland. Oh, Mr. Holland. Oh, Mr. Holland. Oh, always treat me right. Hey, Mr. Holland. Oh, Mr. Holland. Oh, Mr. Holland. Oh, Mr. Holland. Always treat me right, Mr. Holland. Hey, Mr. Holland. Thank you, Mr. Holland. You sure enough treat me right, Mr. Holland. Hey, Mr. Holland. Hey, Mr. Holland. Would you always treat me right?
Thank you for that, Brother O. All right, I think we have a caller in the queue. Caller 2, who am I speaking with?
Peace and blessings, Terris.
Sister Bessie. How you doing, Sister Bessie?
Hey, my brother. Happy anniversary
Thank
to
you.
my brother.
Thank you, Sister Bessie.
All right, my brother. You know, I you know, I love you dearly.
Hey, likewise.
I wanted to say that, you know, when you're a young person, you accept a lot of games from people.
Right.
And you deal with a lot of things that people do. But when you reach a certain age like I am, 64, you know, you sit back and think all the things that you have been taking from people, backbiting, like I did on my last show.
Yes.
And sneaky, underhanded things.
Right.
And you reach a point at that age that you don't want to tolerate it no more. You know, you separate yourself. When you have that spiritual look where you can see where people are not right in their spirits, you don't want to deal with them.
Right.
And I've learned that, you know, people say I'm mean, but I'm not mean. I've been through a lot of games, and I just don't want to play them no more.
Right. Right. Okay.
What's your opinion on that?
Oh, you want my opinion on this?
Yes, my brother.
Well, and listen, just like you're saying, you know, you live your life, and you don't want to play the games, and that's a part of growing up and maturing. I think what you're asking me is, you know, you want to make sure that you aren't just being mean. Okay, so the best way to say that is that, listen, we can choose the people that we want to attract into our lives, right? And the goal is to choose people that are healthy so that we can be healthy. What usually happens is we end up attracting people that reflect the unhealthy aspect of ourselves. Okay? So the more we learn about this type of stuff psychologically in terms of what's going on, because a lot of our behaviors and what we inherit, we've inherited from our parents. Okay, we've inherited a lot of this from our system. So whatever family system that we came out of, what you will find is that when you start dating and relating, you will see that you will start duplicating the system you came out of. This is what happens to us unconsciously. Okay, this happens unconsciously. So if you come out of a very dysfunctional family system, and there was no father or there was no mother that was loving and nurturing and accepted you, then you're going to tend to attract people into your life that do the same thing, to mirror what you came out of. And that way you can be miserable all over again. Okay? Now, a lot of this happens unconsciously. It happens unconsciously. So what you want to do, the more you learn about these things, codependency and all these things, enmeshment, narcissism and all these things, then not only are you able to deal with those issues within you, because you probably have some of those issues within yourself, but the more you become aware, you modify your behavior and you begin to modify the people that you're attracting. And when they show these behaviors, you know what they are and you're able to manage them a lot better and navigate. You understand what I'm saying? So the goal is the world is going to throw all types of things at us, all type of crap, but it is our coping skills that we learn and develop in order to deal with the world, not the other way around. Okay? So if we believe the world is mean and is out to get us, then that's what we're going to experience. Okay? But the fact of the matter is that's not the case. It's only the case if we believe that. So we will experience whatever we believe. So we need to look at our thinking and look at what's our history and see what's going on so that we can modify our reality. Because we're creating our reality. We're creating it. And even from a group level, when we talk about African Americans or other groups that have been oppressed, you know, that have gone through a lot of trauma and is still holding on to that trauma. I'm talking from a mass level, that whole trauma. We are still creating our reality as a group. So that's why this information is so important to learn. I don't know if that answered your question, Sister Bessie. Did that help? answer your question?
Yes, yes. And thank you so much. I just wanted to wish you happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Anniversary, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you, young man.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. All right. So to get back to the topic. Okay. So codependence versus interdependence dysfunction exists in our romantic, family, and human relationships. It is a symptom of the dysfunction that exists in our relationship with life and with being human. It is a symptom of the dysfunction which exists in our relationships with ourselves as human beings. All right, so now we're going to transition. We're going to start with the 5 traits. That was codependency in general. We're going to start with the first one, which is enmeshment. Maybe for a lot of you, you've never even heard these terms, but you want to get to know these terms, okay? Now, enmeshment is very similar to codependency. It is a description of a relationship between 2 or more people in which personal boundaries are permeable and unclear. Okay? This often happens on an emotional level in which 2 people feel each other's emotions, or when one person becomes emotionally escalated and the other family members does as well. Consequently, people who grow up in enmeshed families often have a hard time developing healthy relationships with others. For instance, they may be overly guarded in relationships with others because they fear that opening up and sharing their lives with another person will be draining. Many people don't realize they are part of an enmeshed family until they're well into adulthood, and some individuals never recognize the signs. Enmeshments involve blurred or non-existent boundaries, unhealthy patterns, control, and lack of independence and individuality. Okay? I want to say that again. Enmeshment involves blurred or non-existent boundaries, unhealthy patterns, control, and lack of independence and individuality. Okay? The causes of enmeshment can vary. Sometimes there is an event or series of occurrences in a family's history that necessitates a parent becoming protective in their child's life, such as an illness, trauma, or a significant social problem in elementary school or something like that. At this time, the parent steps in to intervene. While this intervention may have been appropriate at the time, some parents get stuck using that same approach in new settings and become overly involved in the day-to-day interactions of their children. Other times, and perhaps more frequently, enmeshment occurs as a result of family patterns being passed down through generations. It is a result of family and personal boundaries becoming more and more permeable, undifferentiated, and fluid. This may be because previous generations were loose in their personal boundaries, and so it was learned by the next generation to do the same. Or it may be a conscious decision to stay away from family patterns of a previous generation that felt overly rigid in its personal boundaries. Okay? A lot of us have come out of enmeshed situations. Okay? One person is upset in the family, the whole family is upset. The head of the family says, we do all of this as a family. You're not allowed to be individuals within it or anything. It's one for all and all for one. Well, that causes enmeshment. Where you're not free to be an individual within the family. You're almost punished if you want to do something outside of the family. Okay? Here are examples of an enmeshed relationship. Being autonomous or doing your own thing or making unique choices was seen as a sign of betrayal. All right? I'm going to say that again. Being autonomous, doing your own thing, or making unique choices was seen as a sign of betrayal. Everyone in the family was overly involved in each other's lives, and there was little privacy. You felt shamed or rejected for saying no to any of your family members. One or both of your parents were controlling and strict. You felt that you had to be who your parents wanted you to be. You weren't allowed to be your authentic self. Your family made decisions as one entity, groupthink, and not as individuals coming together sharing their opinions. All right, family, I want you to listen to this. This is how you know these are signs of an enmeshed situation. If one family member felt anxious, angry, or depressed, everyone felt and absorbed it. You felt the need to caretake your mother or father, and or you felt the need to parent your mother or father. And this is also known as parentification. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You felt the need to caretake your mother or father because they were in a bad marriage and all this drama was going on. So the parent ran to you as a child for emotional support. Okay, you felt the need to caretake your mother or father, and or you felt the need to parent your mother or father. Your achievements or failures define your family's sense of worthiness. Your family was built on the foundation of power and submission rather than equality and respect. Those are some signs, these are signs of an enmeshed situation. Call in, family. I know the debates are on. Call in 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. This is the Terris Strengths show. This is the Know Your Right show. Call in. We're discussing the 5 deadly behavioral and emotional traits of codependency. So please call in. The question for this evening, if there is anyone out there dealing with this situation of codependency in a relationship, please call in and share your story. Call in. All right, so for the unhealthy dynamics above, an enmeshed relationship between a parent and a child may be characterized by the following things. Inappropriate roles, such as the parent becoming the child's best friend and the child acting as the parent's primary or only source of emotional support. The child may also become the parent's confidant and be expected to keep family secrets. That is bad. Bad, bad, bad. I think we have a caller in the queue, caller 3. Who am I speaking with?
Brother Mac.
Brother Mac, where you been? Ain't heard from you in years.
Yeah, I've been in Cleveland.
Oh,
I'm
man.
back.
God bless you. I feel for you.
Yeah. Great topic tonight. Great topic.
Thank you.
I got a couple comments.
Okay.
As usual.
Okay.
I think that what happens with a lot of people is we think that it's an individual problem when it's a group problem in a society that was based off of codependent relationships. That's
right.
How we were culturalized. The behaviors that we see that we as adults don't care for or find destructive were made acceptable long before we were born.
Mm-hmm.
And so they became normal in our family structures.
Mm-hmm.
And in our family structures, certain things look like love, or that's the only version of love that we were allowed to accept.
Right.
So as we adopt it as a child, and then we think, okay, this is what love looks like, this is how things are supposed to go, this is how we're supposed to interact. We grow up and we find out that this ain't working, this ain't benefiting us. I'm unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tend to think that it's the other person making us unhappy, not realizing in codependency, it's both sides. We're attracting them and they're attracting us.
Right.
And it's because these scenarios were built into the infrastructure of this particular society, where it was always about a superior versus inferior class.
Right.
One group was always made to feel they were superior, and another group was always made to feel they were inferior, and that interaction was normal.
Yes.
Analogy to that is, once slavery ended, you still had ex-slaves who only knew to go through the back door if they went into a store. They literally felt uncomfortable
walking through the front door like everybody else.
Right, right.
They felt uncomfortable. And that was because that idea had become normal in their life, where that's what they knew life to be.
Right.
I'm supposed to be enslaved. It's weird that I'm not enslaved, and I don't know what to do with it. And so what happens with that type of scenario, you have a master and slave relationship.
Right.
The first thing the slave wants to do is enslave somebody else.
Yep.
Because he wants another person to feel what he or she felt when they were being enslaved.
Right.
And the easiest person to do that to is someone who looks like you.
Absolutely.
Which is why we kind of regurgitated generation after generation, because we didn't understand that it was imposed upon us as a group.
Absolutely.
And some of our behaviors were never acceptable in a normal society. So in this society, we got used to, no different than slaves were accustomed to eating certain things and not eating other things, because other things were considered what the owners or the slave masters got to eat. And so we developed a whole dietary system based off of stuff that we were allowed to eat. But it wasn't based off of what was nutritional. It was just based off of, this is what's acceptable. And we made the best out of it. We took lemons and tried to make lemonade.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that the lemons are still sour. You know what I mean? We forgot that part. Once we got away from some of that stuff, we forgot, hey, we don't have to make lemonade. We don't have to deal with lemons. We can deal with something that's not sour.
Right.
That's just an analogy, of course. And so we struggle in our adult relationships, in our family life, because we've run into these roadblocks and we don't understand why what we've considered normal isn't benefiting us. It's because a lot of these things were never beneficial to us, but we weren't given the opportunity, or we hadn't developed the awareness because of the scenario to break away from what wasn't normal.
Right.
So it's almost a global dynamic where you see it with various groups. Every group that's been dominated and colonized, they're forced into a cultural system that is designed to keep them in a codependent
relationship.
Where they're only comfortable being codependent.
Right.
So what's normal becomes abnormal, and then what's abnormal becomes normal. And then we just inflict it on each other, unaware of the ripple effect that we have on the future generations.
Absolutely. Very
what do you
insightful.
Say about that?
Hey, that's very insightful, Brother Mac. That's very insightful. You're absolutely
I'm
right.
trying.
And you know what? To piggyback off of what you're saying, this is why it's so important for us to explore these topics and to really deal with ourselves psychologically, historically, and spiritually, so that we can reverse what has happened to us and move towards freedom. Because right now, a lot of us are living in bondage, and we're very unhappy.
Right.
You see? So you're absolutely right.
Well, a lot of us really don't know what freedom looks like.
That's true.
It has become foreign to us, where we don't recognize it. And, to speak on what some of the previous callers were saying, you get defensive when you get to a certain point in life because that's all you know how to do.
Absolutely.
It's almost like, okay, I don't want to get hit with these haymakers. I guess I got to be a certain way.
Exactly.
So that people don't throw these heavy punches at me.
Right.
But we're not realizing that there's another way to resolve this and get away from it.
Because the problem
stand there and punches.
Yeah, because the problem with that is Yep. The problem.
And so we develop bad habits just as a defensive mechanism, and then you get used to it, you get comfortable with it, and then now when you do meet somebody who isn't going to treat you that bad way, you almost don't know how to react to it because it looks foreign to you.
Right.
And then you miss out. You miss out on that relationship.
Absolutely.
Whether it's friends, lovers, marriage, you just don't know what to do with it.
Right. Right. I want to thank you for those comments, Brother
what
Mac.
you're talking about is expensive.
Yes. I want to thank you for your comments, Brother Mac. Are you there? All right, we have another caller in the queue. Caller 4, who am I speaking with?
Yes. Yes, hi, Mr. Terris Strengths. This is Sharice Lee. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Miss Lee?
I'm well.
Great
I'm just
show.
calling to congratulate you on your O&D syndicated all-time connection record.
Okay.
With your 25th all-time and 24th consecutive #1 all-time in category. And from the All Spices of the CEO of O&E and Looking Glass Entertainment, the honor is effective on today, September 29th of this year, 2020, O&E Linear New Host of the Year.
Oh, wow.
And happy anniversary.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you, Sharice.
You're welcome.
Sharice, tell us
You're
about
welcome,
your show.
And I'm enjoying this topic.
Oh, are you? All right, good.
Yes, I am.
Good. Well, I was enjoying your topic last night.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
But congratulations, okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Sharice. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's an honor.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Wow. That's an honor. Thank you, Brother O and the O&E family. All right, so the comments by Brother Mac were excellent comments, very insightful. Just want to finish this part in terms of the these different bullet points of how you know that you're in an enmeshed situation. So another way, I've just talked about inappropriate roles such as parent becoming a child's best friend. The next one is favoritism, where a parent voices that one child is his or her favorite or exhibits favoritism through his or her actions, including special privileges. Next bullet point, lack of boundaries regarding privacy between the parent and child. All these behaviors create enmeshment. Another bullet, over-involvement in the child's relationships, activities, accomplishments, and problems. And the pressure to remain in the same town as a parent or to attend a nearby college. Enmeshed parents often make their adult children feel guilty for pursuing interests and activities outside of the family unit. So when you talk about enmeshed situation, you're talking about the child experiencing a lot of guilt. And the reason why they're experiencing a lot of guilt because they have a parent that's very subtly very controlling. That's why they have so much guilt. You know, they know that if they choose to do what they want to do, I'm saying, and within reason, the parent is going to have an issue about it that they're not going to be able to escape from. So these children, the kids or adults that come out of systems like this often feel guilty. 13 ways enmeshment may impact you as an adult. Okay, 13 ways. Number 1, you feel the need to rescue everyone around you. If you feel the need to rescue everyone around you, you have issues of enmeshment. Number 2, you feel the need to be rescued. If you're waiting for someone to rescue you and make your life better, you have issues of enmeshment. Number 3, you take responsibility for other people's feelings, habit, and choices. If you do that, you have issues with enmeshment. What we're striving for is to become observers in our relationships and not absorbers. Emotions should go through you. You need to have a healthy sense of detachment so that you can have a detached perspective within the relationship. So you're more logical and you're less emotional. Okay? So you want to become an observer and not an absorber. Keep that in mind when trying to break the bands of enmeshment. Number 4, you can't tell the difference between your emotions and the emotions from those around you. If that's you, then you're suffering from enmeshment. You struggle to give yourself or others close to you personal space. You feel like your partner completes you, and without them, you would be nothing. You're in an enmeshed relationship. You get tangled up in the drama of other people's lives easily. Enmeshment. You feel betrayed when someone close to you wants to do their own thing without you. You're all pissed off and upset. You define your worth by how useful you are to others. Enmeshment. You confuse obsession with care or love. You don't really know who you are. Your sense of self is weak. You easily lose your identity in the presence of others. You don't have many interests or hobbies outside of your family, friend, or your romantic relationships. You don't know who you are without your relationships. And you might make other people responsible for your emotions rather than taking responsibility yourself. If all of these fit you, then you're in an enmeshed situation or you have issues with that. Okay? That's right, Quran. Observer versus absorber. Okay? I think Brother O has a track for me. Another track? Go ahead, Brother O.
I woke up to the morning sky first. Baby blue just like we rehearsed. When I get up off this ground, I should lead back down to the brown, 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 till I'm clean. In the walk, I'll be shaded by the trees, by a meadow of green, oh, by the mile. I'm headed to town, 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 with all my favorite clothes, yes, sir. All my favorite clothes, my sisters and my brothers, see them like no other. All my favorite clothes. A good day, a good day for me, a good day to see my favorite color. My sisters and my brothers, they see them like no other. All my favorite color. Take them to the little town. With a bitty blue in gray clouds or white walls or blue skies,
I got you,
we don't
Quran.
fly below play. We gon' down like sit back and say I anticipate a homecoming parade and been pretty gay in the morning light. With all my favorite colors, yes sir. All my favorite colors, yes ma'am.
Thank you, Brother O. Brother O, it's 10:30. How much time do I have? It's 10:30.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, continue your show, man.
All right. I know I don't have much time, so I just read a bunch of bullet points for you to tell if you're dealing with enmeshment issues, and I'll post these on Facebook so you guys can have access to them. Very quickly, how to step into your power and overcome enmeshment. I'll read these and then we can be done, Brother O, if you want. Number 1, be a detective. Explore your own interests. Find out what you're passionate about. Do the detective work. More autonomy equals a stronger sense of self and more personal empowerment. So try researching hobbies online. Do those types of things. Number 2, set boundaries and respect your right to say no. That's how you help with your enmeshment issues. Boundaries are an essential step in learning how to overcome your enmeshment patterns. You need to focus on how you feel around others and what is okay versus what's not appropriate. So putting your foot down and drawing a line can feel uncomfortable at first, but don't worry, practice makes perfect. Number 3, learn to enjoy being alone. Growing up in an enmeshed environment can make it hard to spend time alone in solitude. You may feel lonely, bored, or depressed when you're alone because you've not learned to enjoy your own company. So to strengthen your sense of self, try setting time aside each week to be alone and make your alone time enjoyable by setting yourself tasks that you love doing. Learn to self-care. Okay? It's a wonderful way to differentiate yourself from others, and you'll enjoy it and you'll feel great. Read lots of books. Number 4, read lots of books and take personality tests. Self-discovery and self-awareness will be important parts of your journey if enmeshment is an issue for you. Okay, one of the books you can check out is Daniel Goleman's Emotional Intelligence and an old classic, How to Be Your Own Best Friend. These are examples of books. But read lots of books on the topic so that you can deal with this unconscious killer. For a lot of us, it's unconscious. And number 5, of course, practice the fine art of self-love. Learn how to love and accept who you are. Practice self-discovery alongside self-compassion. And strive to take care of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual needs. These are things that you can do to help to minimize the impact of enmeshment, which is a silent killer in the category of codependency. Okay? So that's pretty much it. Brother O, I think it's Ngozi time. Brother O, great music tonight. Are you there?
Well, first of all, I'm so proud of this wonderful show tonight, and all the folks that want to call in right now to express themselves and wish our brother a happy anniversary. Please do that at this time. 516-453-9133. Press 1 to join the conversation. You do have a caller for my Ngozi time. Caller, you're on the line right now with Terris Strengths, and know you're right.
Who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Oh, yes.
Hi, this is Stephanie.
How are you doing this evening, Stephanie?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good.
First, I want to wish you a happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think those of us who have been with you for the past year can attest to how much your show has had an impact on us all, how meaningful it has been, and how we've seen you grow and evolve through this process.
Thank you.
And we all probably want to encourage you to continue going on with the great work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And speak.
Powering on. Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
Oh my God! Did I just hang up my phone?
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
I came to that particularly listening to the comments of the Brother Mac, and some of my own thoughts on this. If we look at society, and the historical aspects of society, you can see how people have had to be interdependent just for survival. and how that could very, very easily move into enmeshment, because we have, if we go back beyond, way back into, their earlier history, in order to survive, our very survival depended upon us being a group and group thinking and group movement. So these problems that we're talking about now, they could seem like 20th century problems or 21st century problems, but these are things that have come with man throughout his evolution historically, and if you look back at how society has changed and converted, it's been through the efforts of individuals who have been willing to step away from the group and take the risk of delving into topics, in science and music and industry and medicine and become, mavericks and develop new ideas so that our societies, our cultures have been able to evolve and grow. And as a result, we find ourselves now in the 21st century able to consider these topics and distinguish ourselves as individuals and take the risk of, as you say, learning how to be alone, even if it means living alone and still being able to survive. But at the same time, we're still growing and learning and expanding what it means to be a human being, at the same time, and what it means to be an individual spiritually and emotionally and even physically, delving into our health, which hopefully this, will be an outgrowth of all of these emotional explorations and spiritual explorations. So there's so much value in what the topics that you're bringing, and I hope that all the listeners will really latch on to this as you intend them to do and explore it further and see where it can take them. And thank you so much, Brother Strengths, for bringing this to us.
Thank you very much. Those are outstanding comments, Ms. Stephanie, and thank you for calling in. And I hope it's impacting you and the other listeners. I think these topics are very important because they are at the infrastructure of our relationships, and it's very, very important. It's very, very important. So thank you for those comments.
Yes, indeed. And, of course, we have another caller before I go into my go-to time.
Oh, okay.
Someone that knows you very, very well through your journey and anniversary and all of those things.
Uh-oh.
The International Internet Radio Hall of Famer for the class of 2020 broadcasting nominee. You already heard from the enshrining Jersey Tito. Now, the Magic Man, Haru. What are you about to say?
Mr. Terris Strengths, first of all, I want to say happy anniversary. Congratulations. And it's been amazing. Also, I want to say thank you. Thank you for not only coming to O&E and being a trendsetter, but watching you grow, coming to your own, and many people that you are affecting each time that your show comes on, it gets greater. I'm just so proud of you, man. So I can't let this night end, man, without you knowing that you're hearing from me personally. Okay?
Thank you, Mooney.
The bar, and man, you're just probably one of the best I have seen that do what you do when it comes to these relationships and so many different things. And keep raising the bar. I'm proud of you now. Okay?
Thank you, Hooney. Thank you very much. Again, great mentors and great leaders. Thank you. Brother O?
And not only that, also the 2020 and that's in that Radio Hall of Fame nominee, Miss Antonia Batts.
Hey, Miss
Hello?
Batts. Yes.
Yes, well, Terrence, I just wanted to say congratulations on your anniversary. I didn't know it was scheduled to come up so soon.
I know, right?
But all I have to say is it's good to talk to you again. Yeah, please excuse my voice. I've been having problems off and on.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Hope you feel
I
better.
just wanted to tell you that it's always a pleasure to have you because I like your honesty.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate you for that reason. Because you have definitely been a pinnacle in bringing together communities as well as families. And it's always good to see that I'm not the only advocate for that out there, as well as many of the others. And if you keep going in the direction you're going, all I have to say is nothing bad can become of whatever you do. And I just wish you the very best, and to continue to stay on the road that you've been on for the time that you've been here. So with that being said, God bless you. Always good to hear from you.
Thank you.
And you take care.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Bass. Thank you. I appreciate it. God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about you. First of all, congratulations on your 25th only syndicated station all-time connection record. Your 24th consecutive, beyond the greatest that ever done it on this network. And from the offices of only syndicated stations and Looking Glass Entertainment, we bestow upon you on this day, September 29th, of the year 2020, the linear new host of the year, which means that as the new host is a rookie, no one has done it better. And, of course, we all know that all of our hosts on Black Friday vote for the Anna Waddell Award for Excellence, which means that is what their opinion is for host of the year. So, you join Miss T's Queen, you join Tony Griffin, you join Jesus Powell, and the Cadence Poetry Hour featuring Desire for being a linear new host of the year. You look at our legacy. Last year, the Cadence Storm Poetry Hour featuring Desire had 20 all-time connection records on our network. And what rookie could come on and do that abundantly? It was you. Not only, they did 17 in a row with 20. You've done 25 and 24 in a row. And my announcement is, Mr. Terris Strengths is one of the few in the history of internet radio. Only 8 people have done what he has done, to have a 24 consecutive record in internet radio. Congratulations for being one of the top 10 who's ever done it in all of internet radio.
Wow. It's an honor. Wow. Thank you, Brother O. Thank you. I don't know what to say.
Now, we go to the next legacy. Tomorrow night, right here on these ONE stations. A charter host family, a charter husband and wife, outstanding duo. The Pattersons on tomorrow night with The Opinion. Studio A, Lagos, Nigeria. 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time on these ONE stations. And of course, Beverly Nation is advertising to ONE, which is Oladeli and Goes Enterprise. You reach us, of course, at www.lookingglassentertainment@wordpress.com, as well as Ngozi Primetime one at Devnet.com. We're Ngozi Time both on Twitter and Instagram. Oladeli and Ngozi at Pinterest and Google+. Oladeli and Malawi and Ngozi at Facebook, as well as our business page. Know Your Rights, as well as the historic Beverly Nation Online Radio, established 2013. Any comments, suggestions for our wonderful programming tonight? Lady Lady, I'm gmail.com, and I am your mother and father's favorite producer, Oladeli Malawi and Ngozi, saying good night and good luck to all the folks out there in Armed Force Radio that support us on a constant basis. Congratulations to the 2020 Linear New Host of the Year, Mr. Terris Strengths, and his 25th ONE syndicated station, all-time connection record, beyond the linear moment of 365 days, 24 consecutive, which is now undisputed and unprecedented. Terris Strengths, take us home. You have 2 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the program.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank the ONE family for giving me an opportunity to share my story and my perspective. They've been mentors to me, this great leadership, and they've shown me the love and support that I've needed to try to have the shows that I have, and I just try to take it one show at a time. So I want to thank them for all the support and encouragement that they've given me. I want to thank the listeners for supporting me and calling in, and you guys are doing a great job of supporting and really having great comments. So I wanted to say that I love the comments that we get on this show, and being able to deep dive into these topics. And so we're going to finish this in another month. We're going to finish this topic, the 5 deadly emotional traits of codependency. We're going to delve farther into it. Family, just be careful out there. I will see you guys in a month. It's been a great ride, and I'm looking for another year of having a great ride and us growing and moving towards wholeness. So tell somebody you love them, and I'll see you in a month. And Brother O, I'll talk to you guys, and we'll take it from there and see where this thing goes. Remember to know your strength. Always know your strength.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, family. Well, that's the show for this evening. Thanks for calling in. It's been good having you. I got Brother O trying to call me right now. I will see you guys in a month, and we're gonna try to get it in and finish this topic, and try to dive deeper and help you guys with this whole issue of codependency. You've been great listeners, and I will see you guys in a month. All right? Remember to always to know your strength. Karan, I will talk to you. Tawana, thanks for coming. Asara, thanks for joining. I will see you guys in a month. Thanks for supporting me. All right? I'll see you guys. All right. Talk to you. Later, Gator.